Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 33rd ever Highlight Haven interview. My name is Matthew Heiserman, and today we are joined by JMU defensive lineman Xavier Holmes. Xavier, it's great to have you on.
How you doing, Matthew?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. I just finished up classes and then got everything settled and ready to dive in this conversation with you.
Yep, and let's get right into it. I just want to start by asking when you first knew that you wanted to play football.
It started off when I was necessarily very young, around like five. I tried baseball at first, but it wasn't really my forte. I tried out basketball until I found out you can only get five fouls. So that didn't really work out. And then football, it really stuck out with me.
Yeah, now, when you started playing football around 5 years old, were you always a defensive lineman or were you more of a utility player playing various different positions around the field?
Yeah, I was a utility player. Like I was offense, defense, running back, defensive end, linebacker, anywhere, special teams. This I just really love the game.
Yeah, I love to hear that. And of course, when you were in the transfer portal, you also received offers from teams such as UMass and FAU. What ultimately ended up making you choose JMU over some of those other and, somewhat bigger schools, at least FAU?
Yeah, I knew that the history behind JMU with like the culture here and everybody's all in one direction and the coaching was very good and I'm looking forward to the season with these new coaches or well from Maine technically, but you know and it's close to home,
Yeah.
so I couldn't beat that.
And obviously, you mentioned that culture coming off of first bowl game win in program history. And, during that process where you were deciding between different schools, was there a specific moment when you knew that JMU was the best option for you?
Oh yeah, hands down. I was waiting for them to throw the offer. Like I went on other visits, but it didn't really resonate with me. But as soon as I was there, I knew that was going to be the place I wanted to be for my last year.
Yeah, so were you well familiar with the school before you even went on the visit there, before you got the offer?
Oh yeah, definitely. JMU it rings bells around everywhere, especially around the DMV area.
Yeah, and of course, when you played at Maine, which is where you transferred from, you were teammates with Kyrie Mans, who played with JMU last season before declaring for the 2025 NFL Draft. Can you just describe what your relationship is like with Kyrie?
Oh yeah, Kyrie and we played. I wouldn't say like we played together. I was more behind him and watching him,
Yeah.
especially like throughout like my development. But he always really harped on hard work and just putting in extra time. So like I love him as a brother, as a player, and I'm excited to see what he does in the next level as well.
Yeah, and are you guys still keeping in touch even though he's going to the draft? You're obviously now going into your final year of college?
Oh yeah, for sure. I can hit him up. He can hit me up anytime. We know what it is.
Yeah, now, of course, with you and Kyrie both being extremely competitive players and him being 1 year older than you, I know you mentioned that you were kind of behind him during your time at Maine. What were you able to learn from him with the Black Bears?
Just about understanding like the playbook, and it really it's a more mental game more than a physical game. So he really like harped on me and like really helped me figure out the playbook coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. And you obviously made a massive impact last season at Maine, where you amassed a total of 72 tackles, 12.5 of which were tackles for loss, 6 sacks, an interception, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. What's one thing that you take pride in when it comes to your play style?
My hustle and my relentless effort. If the whistle's not blown and I'm not by that ball, then like that's like a cardinal sin for me. So I really take pride in being around the ball and uplifting my teammates too. Like it's not just me out on that field. Like I got to make sure all my brothers are we all on the same page. So that plays a big part in it too. My leadership as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you obviously do 1/11th out there, and then everyone else does their own part. And you try and give obviously 100% on every single play. I mean, this is a 60-minute game. How are you well, what's the key to giving 100% every single play of every single game?
One more rep.
Mhm,
That's all I think. Just one more rep. Like if I can beat you for this one more rep,
mhm,
then I win. Or if I can beat you on this one set or whatever down it is, then I won.
mhm.
And it's just all about winning your one-on-one matchup at the end of the day.
Has there ever been situations where, an offensive lineman obviously going 1v1 against you the whole game, they're a little tired, and then that's when you're like, "Okay, they're tired, I can take advantage of this," and then you just give a little extra effort on the next play, make sure you're able to make something happen?
Oh yeah, for sure. For
Mhm.
sure.
Yeah, now, this past season, you were a part of the All-CAA second team. What does that achievement mean to you?
It, it means a lot, but I know there's still more on the table that I can do, and I'm willing to tap into that side and really dive into like my full potential and really get after that. I already have like my ambitions, but I'm taking it day at a time. But you guys will see.
Yeah, absolutely. And in a previous interview with JMU Sports News, you mentioned how consistent your schedule is, not just in terms of football, but just like when you wake up, when you have classes, when you do specific things. How would you say that consistency is able to give you an advantage on the field?
It helps a lot, even right now, like my bed is made up. I do
Mhm,
everything is just to a T. So
mhm,
once I have like a routine, it translates to the field. You can't, you know, have a messy bed and then
mhm,
expect it to just be great, or you can't just do like the little things and get away with it. Like I take pride in harping into the little things because the little things lead up to bigger things.
Yeah, 100%. And this past season, you played some more difficult teams, including Montana State, who went 15-1, and obviously Oklahoma, who beat you guys 59-14. How does that tougher competition help you improve your game?
Uh, I would say the game speed. It wasn't really nothing tremendously crazy, but I would just say like the game speed really helped me be on alert, and it's not like no disrespect to the CAA, but it's not. It's a difference from CAA to like the SEC. So really being in tune with like my keys and like watching film really helped throughout those weeks.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of the CAA and Maine as a whole, Maine is obviously an FCS school. What do you expect the biggest challenge to be transitioning from the FCS to the FBS?
Uh, I would really just say like the opponents, like the O linemen. I feel like everybody, if you can play ball, you can play ball wherever. We have teammates from different levels, so and we're all here for a reason. So at the end of the day, I just feel like not really a competition level, just who really wants it the most.
Mhm. Yeah, now I was able to speak with JMU linebacker Jacob Dobbs, who is declaring for the 2025 NFL draft, and he played at Holy Cross before he went to JMU, and he was basically saying that Holy Cross team has a lot of now FBS players. They have a few players who are in the NFL, so it wasn't really difficult switching in terms of competition because he was already playing with such a good team at Holy Cross. Is that kind of the same thing for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have great teammates and at Maine too, still holding
Mhm.
it down.
Yeah, obviously getting you prepared for a higher level. And during your freshman season, you weighed just 200 pounds. And this past season, as a junior, you weighed 245 pounds. Obviously, you play against some very big offensive linemen. How are you able to use your size to your advantage?
Uh, I would say like my length, uh, being very long, long limbed. I use it as my ability to, don't let the offensive lineman get into my chest where they can disrupt me. whether like I lay my hands on them first and we can just play chess from
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, I mean, is there a specific move you like to use? Maybe just try and power through them, do a little spin move?
Uh, I would say power, but I
Mhm,
mean, I'm mainly trying to find out more finesse
mhm.
and use my hands more.
Yeah, absolutely. And during your first 3 seasons at Maine, you wore the jersey number 90. However, last season you changed your number to 9. I know, uh, at least in the NFL, they're changing numbers in terms of, defensive linemen obviously can wear smaller numbers, and just different position groups can wear different numbers if they want. Was that why you changed your number, or was there more of a specific reason?
Number 9 at the University of Maine was really that
Mm,
best defensive lineman player, and I was thankful for my coaches that gave the number down to me
mhm.
because originally I was gonna stick with number 90, but they saw something in me and they gave me that responsibility of taking ownership in that number and leaving it better than I found it.
Yeah, and on game days, are there any, pregame rituals you have, or maybe a specific kind of music you like to listen to just to get you in the right mindset?
It varies. It
Mhm,
varies. I'll listen to like some old Future. Sometimes it can go to R&B,
mhm,
but it's nothing really crazy.
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, now on January 14th, JMU added Chris Grotzky as their new director of athletic performance. I know you've had the chance to work with him recently. So can you describe the mindset he brings as a strength coach?
Oh yeah, I love the science behind him, and he's very level-headed, and he really has the players' best intentions. And I know that him and Coach Chesney, and along with the other coaching staff, are really gonna bring this new JMU team to like the next level.
Yeah, now obviously as a college student, how are you able to balance your schoolwork while also giving 100% on the field?
Oh yeah, I definitely have to devote um, some time to my schoolwork as well, and we have like study hall.
Yeah.
I'll go in for 2 hours, get my work done, and then map it out through a calendar. But academics is very strong for anybody listening that wants to play football. You cannot play football without any good grades. Always stay and make sure you're on your grades just as much as you are on the field.
Yeah, now your first ever college sack came against Rhode Island on September 15th, 2023. Do you still remember what that moment was like?
Yes, got held, hit him with the swipe, bent the edge, came across. Quarterback was trying to roll out, got the ankle, and it was a holding call. Throw the flag, throw the celly, boom. I
Now
remember like it's yesterday.
you mentioned the celly. Are you a trash talker on the field, or are you kind of let the game play itself?
It varies. I'm kind of learning to just go out there, whatever. If you want to make me trash talk, you got to show me like if it's worth it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, now, of course, throughout your career, you've gotten the opportunity to play in some very important games. So tell me, how are you able to handle the pressure under these situations?
Put this
Mhm,
that question kind of caught me off guard, but I take every game and just we already have like the preparation and everything, so
mhm.
I just go in there with the level mind and just know that it's football and God got me. He's gonna put me in the positions to do right, and so are my coaches.
Yeah, now, this question is a little more fun. I'm going to list you different plays that could occur in a game, and I want you to rank them, one being the best play, and four being not necessarily a bad play, but not as good, obviously, as number one. So we have a sack, an interception, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. How would you rank those four?
So sack will be first.
Hmm.
Second, a forced fumble.
Hmm.
Yeah, that a forced fumble will count like a strip sack, right?
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
And then interception. I like interceptions, but I don't really care for the interceptions. It's great for the team.
Yeah.
And then a fumble recovery. I just feel like that just comes from swarming to the ball.
Yeah, now is there a specific reason what makes a sack so good?
It's like somebody LeBron going down the court on a fast break and just jamming it. I feel like it gets everybody pumped up. Your teammates going crazy, and the environment really changes with the momentum.
Yeah, now is there maybe an NFL player that you look up to as inspiration or try and model your game after?
Uh, I really enjoy seeing Michael Parsons play. High motor guy and very determined. I just saw a video of him like he was wrestling a sumo wrestler. He had lost the first set, and he was like, "No, get back in there," and then he got him the second rep.
Yeah, now I do have one final question to ask before we wrap things up. Obviously, this is your final year of eligibility, so I wanted to know if you had any team goals or personal goals for this season.
Team goals. I would
Mhm,
say 9-4 was good, but it's not the standard here.
yeah,
So
mhm,
really getting back to that top
mhm,
ranking, uh, winning the championship, winning the conference, and personal goals. I would say All American.
mhm.
Every accolade you can get, that's the best I wanted.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great mindset. And with that being said, can't thank you enough for coming on. Really do appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to say to the people watching before we wrap things up?
Shout out to you, Matthew, and I thank you and for having me. And I'd love to talk with you another time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, really appreciate you coming on. And big thanks to Xavier Holmes for being the 33rd ever Highlight Haven interview guest. And as always, we will see you next time.